All right. If you guys haven't been on the internet at all in the last couple days, there has been an official trailer for Spider-Man Far From Home. I personally am really looking forward to this movie. I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, been a fan of the character for a long time, and I really like what Tom Holland has done with the character and how he portrays Spider-Man. Honestly, rivals Tobey Maguire for me. It's kind of like Tobey Maguire, Tom Holland are fighting for this spot. Andrew Garfield's way over here somewhere. I don't really give a shit about him. But I liked Homecoming and I like seeing him in these Avengers movies, and I was excited to see this trailer. Now, at the beginning of this trailer, we do get a little bit of a disclaimer from Tom Holland saying, hey, this trailer is going to spoil some of the events from Avengers Endgame, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, don't go any further. And given that I'm going to be talking about this movie, I would suggest if you aren't one of the millions of people going to see this movie and making it the number 2 highest grossing worldwide movie of all time, don't continue watching this trailer. And now that I think about it, if you haven't seen Avengers Endgame, you need to go out and go see it right now because it was awesome. Anyways, with that being said, after that, they sort of just jump right into it. We see Peter struggling to deal with the loss of Tony Stark from the end of Avengers Endgame. He's having a conversation with Happy, who was Tony Stark's assistant throughout all of the other films, in regards to his death and just trying to move past that. And you can see it's difficult for Peter. It's not something that's going to happen right away, and it's going to take time for him to move past that. There's also a scene shortly after that where we see him fighting off some criminals in what looks like a restaurant. He makes a quick little joke at the cops at the end saying that, he's too busy doing their job when they ask, hey, are you going to be the new Iron Man now? It was a funny scene. I'm glad to see that they're still having fun with it. There is still going to be some jokes and lightheartedness to it after that really sad ending in Avengers Endgame. But you can almost kind of see that this might start to be the theme. This is what's going to be driving Peter in this movie. He wants to live in Tony Stark's footsteps, and if he's not going to be the next Iron Man, he wants to do everything that he can just to live out that legacy. But you can tell he just wants to be a kid. He wants to enjoy himself. He wants to go out on vacation. He's ghosting Nick Fury, one of the most important people in this universe, who's trying to contact him. And Happy's trying to tell him that's not something you're supposed to do. You shouldn't ghost him. And lo and behold, who comes to show up and crash the party? We see Nick Fury come and say, hey, we need you to help us. We can't get Thor. We can't get Captain Marvel. It's got to be you. You're the only one available. Like, bitch, you've been to space. Then we start to get some more detailed shots of Jake Gyllenhaal playing Mysterio, aka Quentin Beck. And to be honest with you, I really like the way that they're going with this Mysterio. They're making him look cool. They're actually giving him powers. Traditionally, in the comics, he uses illusions and magic to sort of do his evil doings in the comic books. But now, because Nick Fury mentions that he is from a tear in the dimension or from another universe caused by the various different Thanos snaps, it gives them a reason or kind of a cool way to make Mysterio cool as opposed to how he was in the comics. I'm still not really buying this 100% because that's kind of what Mysterio's whole thing is. He's a master of illusions. He's a trickster. You don't really know you're going to get with him. I'm kind of taking everything that he says with a grain of salt. There's that one line there. He says, yeah, we could use a guy like you in my world. It's almost kind of makes it seem like he's got a different agenda. I'm just not 100% sold that he is in fact a good guy, and I'm curious to see how that's going to play out. And Peter even says it in this movie. He says, wait a second, there was a whole tear in the dimension. What does that mean? There's like a multiverse? And this, honestly, if Disney wants to go about it this way, it's a really easy way for them to sort of introduce all these other different franchises that they have. Going forward, if they wanted to bring in X-Men or they wanted to bring in Deadpool, some of these Fox properties that they just acquired, especially like the Fantastic Four, things like that going forward, this whole multiverse with a tear in the dimension thing could really be their key to do that. The one thing that I don't want them to do is use the multiverse as an excuse to bring back people like Captain America or Tony Stark or Black Widow in future movies, because I feel like that's going to undermine all of the previous events that just took place in all the other movies that we just saw. There's a way to do this whole multiple universe, tear in the dimension thing, and again, I just don't want them to go down that path. There is one scene in this trailer that I wanted to point out where you see Peter Parker sitting in what looks to be a vehicle, and there's an explosion that goes off behind him, and he reaches for these pair of sunglasses. Now, these sunglasses look very, very familiar because they are almost the same exact, they gotta be the same exact pair that Tony Stark was wearing in Avengers Infinity War. And it just kind of starts to paint that picture of, him being this new Iron Man or trying to follow in his footsteps of someone that he really cared for, respected, and looked up to. All in all, this movie looks pretty good, guys. I'm really excited with what they're doing with Mysterio. This idea of the multiverse and how they're going to expand on that seems pretty cool also. And I think this is just going to be a fun Spider-Man movie. Any good Spider-Man adventure that they're going to throw at me, I'm down for. So what did you think of the trailer, guys? Do you like Mysterio? Do you like the idea of this multiverse? Do you think this movie's going to be good? Sound off your thoughts in the comments below. In the meantime, you can follow me on Twitter. And keep an eye out for my weekly videos. If you like what you see and you want to see more, please hit the like and subscribe button. Until then, I'll see you later.